more ball, fewer infractions. This begins in 2020. The future is near. More access, more everyone, more everything here.
July 31st, 2019. Show number 23.
This is history begun. This is the XFL.
What's up, my friends, and welcome to another edition of the XFL Weekend Review. I am your host, The Mark, and on this week's show, QB Josh Johnson in the XFL. Pat McAfee as an XFL announcer, perhaps. Some more XFL hires, and so much more. So how do you get in touch with the show? You email podcast@xflnewshub.com with your MP3s or your thoughts, or just use the Twitter hashtag XFL Army. Remember, cutoff time to be part of the show is 5 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday. And remember to always leave us a review on iTunes, and we'll read it on the show. That really gets the word out. Oh, it's actually now review on Apple Podcasts. Is that what they're calling it now? I'm an Android guy, so I don't know what the heck it is. And we'll read it on the show. Anyway, question of the week, worst sports cities. We'll get into that. But we're actually working on something, and you guys can help us. Because we are the definitive XFL news site of all time in human history and probably the universe. I'm just throwing it out there. I know there could potentially be aliens. I know some of you probably listening to the show are going to storm Area 51 or do whatever that thing is. But as far as I'm concerned, I haven't spoken officially to any aliens yet, but I feel that this is the greatest, not only XFL news site ever created in the history of the universe, but this podcast is pretty dang good as well. I think it's number one with aliens, though. I think so. I think I've heard the ratings, saw the ratings that it was number one with aliens. Anyway, we're working on something, and I figured you could use your help. So we got the question of the week. We're a sports team, but this question this week, XFL City. So if you are part of an XFL City, you can help us out. Or if you know a part of an XFL City, you can help us out. What we want to know from you is, where are the best places to tailgate in an XFL City? So it can't be like, come to my bar. I'm 50 miles away from the stadium. It's great. No, you need to be near the stadium where people tailgate. So example, in DC, you have DC United Stadium in the Audi Field. There's also Nats Park, where the Washington Nationals /Expos play. Where's our good spot to tailgate there? If you're part of the MetLife, or you're LA, or you're St. Louis. I know they had the Dome. I actually saw a Ravens St. Louis game back in the day. We actually went for a Ravens game there. And there was you walk through the casino to get to the football game or something. And so where do you tailgate there? There was a good bar that was wide open. That was actually kind of cool there. And they were watching baseball at the time. So that kind of gives you an idea of when it was. So tell us. We need to know these things. We're working on something. We'll get into that. So XFL cities, best places to tailgate. Let us know and help us out with something that we're working on. All right. With that being said, folks, without further ado, it's been a light week, but some interesting things. Let's just get into the week that was the XFL. So the Baltimore Ravens are in the market for a backup QB. Robert Griffin III suffered a hairline fracture in his right thumb and is expected to miss 4 to 8 weeks. He could return by September for the start of the season, but it's kind of unclear at this time. So Josh Johnson, former Redskins quarterback, tried out for the team. He's 32 years old, but in an interesting twist, he turned down a Ravens contract offer because, quote, he didn't feel like it was the right opportunity, close quote. This was after a workout. This is according to Ian Rappaport, NFL insider, but doesn't it seem a bit odd to turn down any kind of QB opportunity, given the fact that there are backup quarterback battles going on several teams? We know all about this. We're actually monitoring all the QB backups and third string, fourth stringer battles to potential XFL quarterbacks. I mean, most teams already have their second and third string quarterbacks in place, usually a veteran guy at second and then some kind of rookie as third. But there's some battles going on. But with the Ravens, there's a good possibility. I mean, you have Lamar Jackson. He's a running quarterback. And RG3, I mean, he's already hurt once. He's got a list of injury history. That's possible that Josh Johnson could see the field in the 2019 season. It seems like a perfect opportunity. But maybe the idea of being potentially cut in September and waiting by the phone for an injury to happen to one of the two guys and basically not being paid is really not a good opportunity in Johnson's mind. But could the XFL be a better opportunity. So the idea of signing with the XFL for potentially, we heard anywhere from $200,000 to $250,000 in kind of guaranteed money, you also get a shot at starting. Those things could be the perfect opportunity. So rather than hoping two players get injured and then getting a shot at some playing time, he could play 1 year in the XFL, make a name for himself, and sign for a bigger NFL money next year with a better shot at playing. Interesting. I mean, clearly, this is all hypothetical. We have no idea what's going on through Josh Johnson's mind or other situations he may be waiting on. There could be other agents, teams that have reached out to him with interest. But the idea that there is an option B now for the first time, and that's with the XFL, has to be a factor in some of these players' minds. Players who are in their 30s and not signed to an NFL team right now, the XFL is a legit option. Josh Johnson could join other potential XFL quarterbacks like Landry Jones and Ryan Mallett. Could we see him in the XFL? Would Josh Johnson be a good fit on a team like, say, XFL DC with Coach Pep Hamilton, offensive guy? He could make Josh Johnson look good, and then maybe he can get a backup deal next year for some NFL team and be the number 2 guy. We don't know. Let us know what you think. Are we far out pace? According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, former NFL punter Pat McAfee is joining ESPN. Now, since retired from football in 2017, McAfee has been both a football and WWE analyst. His role at ESPN will see him be part of the Thursday night college football announcing team with Adam Amin and Matt Hasselbeck. Now, Hasselbeck is a former teammate of McAfee's from the Indianapolis Colts. Now, the interesting thing here is, could the McAfee hire be a sign that he could be part of a potential XFL broadcast team once the league begins play in February of 2020. Now, he has already worked several pay-per-views for the WWE Network, and Vince McMahon, of course, owns the XFL. Now, McAfee has worked for Barstool Sports, Fox Sports, and of course WWE before joining ESPN. He will not be exclusive to ESPN. As part of his agreement, he's allowed to continue working with other media outlets. So his ESPN debut will take place August 29th when UCLA plays Cincinnati. So do you think Pat McAfee would be a good announcer in the XFL? The 8-city summer showcase tour was supposed to be for XFL coaches to get a look at players before the October XFL draft. Around 1,000 former NFL and college players tried out at these events. The goal was, out of this big pool of players, the XFL would sign about 200 to XFL contracts. But trying out for XFL coaches doesn't mean the other leagues are not watching. According to reports, the NFL is definitely interested. Former 3rd overall pick in the 2012 NFL draft, Trent Richardson, recently told Eric J. Wallace of the Pensacola News-Journal that the NFL is watching. Quote, "I've gotten a few calls, but you never know about the NFL," Richardson said. "Hopefully I put enough out there to show I can still move and play. I'm doing this for myself and my kids." He goes on to say, "A lot of people have been calling me. The XFL has been calling me. The NFL have been calling me. The opportunity is there. And if the NFL doesn't come through, then definitely I'd pursue the XFL." Now, he is not the only one getting some interest from the NFL. Recent former first-round pick of the Baltimore Ravens, Matt Elam, tried out for both the Miami Dolphins and Indianapolis Colts. Ben Volen of the Boston Globe reported that he tried out for these guys. Now, NFL insider Adam Kaplan reports that Carolina Panthers worked out Luis Perez. He's the former Birmingham Iron AAF quarterback, and he also took part in the XFL Summer Showcase this year. Of course, after the AAF folded, we all know about that. So getting a workout, of course, from an NFL team versus being signed is a whole different story. Organizations want to see how they do on the field. The XFL will be the place to do that. And with solid play, these players could get back in the NFL by next year. The Chicago Bears announced 5 coaches as part of the NFL's Bill Walsh Diversity Coach Fellowship. These coaches will join Matt Nagy's staff of Bears for training camp. This program is in its 32nd year. Wow, long time. The program's objective is to use NFL camps to give coaches opportunities to observe, participate, gain experience, and ultimately gain a full-time NFL coaching position. The 5 coaches were a couple guys I'd never heard of, but 2 of them, Napoleon Sykes is the outside linebackers coach for XFL Washington, D.C., and Chris Thompson is tight ends coach for XFL New York. Now, Sykes is the operation analyst and outside linebackers coach for Washington's XFL DC. Under head coach Pep Hamilton, he recently was the outside linebackers coach for the U.S. Naval Academy from 2016 to 2018. Thompson is the manager of football operations for XFL New York. Most recently, he worked as director of football operations for the Atlanta Legends of the AAF. His background has been with Arena Football Leagues. He served as offensive coordinator and director of football operations for the Albany Empire in 2018. We reported back in April that Kathryn Nachi would be leaving the Toronto Argonauts of the CFL to join Mark Trestman and the XFL Tampa Bay franchise. Her role would be a director of football operations for the new team, but it looks like those plans have changed. NFL insider Adam Schefter reported that Nachi will be leaving the XFL for the NFL. The Philadelphia Eagles hired her as their football operations coordinator. Quote, "It's the latest high-profile hire of a woman to an NFL front office position," close quote. With Nachi gone, the CFL season underway and the NFL season about to begin, Trestman might look to hire a veteran outside the organization or potentially from within his coaching ranks. Nachi is out. We wish her well with the Eagles. I'm really curious to see how her career goes. A very, very, very brief stint with the XFL. We're less than 200 days away from the kickoff of the 2020 XFL season, and we have some new hires to kind of recap. They're former AAF coaches and NFL players, and a coach's daughter. Yes, that's true. So Kenneth Perry for XFL Dallas will be the new DB's coach. He was special teams coordinator, recruiter at University of Kansas. He coached at TCU also. Marvin Sanders will also be a defensive backs coach. He was the D coordinator and defensive back coach for Coastal Carolina in NCAA. And Dave Bowler will be the manager of football operations. He was the general manager of San Diego Fleet of the AAF. That's for Dallas. XFL St. Louis, Grant Williams will be the new offensive line assistant. He was assistant offensive line coach at Linwood University, NCAA. Played 9 seasons in the NFL as an offensive tackle. Played for Seattle and the St. Louis Rams. Williams won a Super Bowl with the New England Patriots in 2020. Chris Crocker is the new defensive assistant. Reed Crocker was a coach with the Atlanta Legends. He was drafted by the Cleveland Browns in the 3rd round of the 2003 NFL Draft. Played for the Falcons, Dolphins, Bengals, and Vikings. XFL Los Angeles hires Victoria Moss will be the new manager of football operations. She was recently a marketing manager for the Paps Corps. She is the daughter, of course, of XFL Los Angeles head coach Winston Moss. Now, some front office hires. Russ Giglio is the new director of player administration. He'll be reporting to Doug Whaley, who is the XFL Senior Vice President of Football Operations. Giglio was most recently the Director of Player Personnel for the AAF. Before that, he spent 11 years in various NFL front office jobs. Lisa Milner-Goldberg is the new Head of Communications for XFL LA. She was a Vice President at Swanson Communications. Alan Barrett, new Head of Communications for XFL Tampa Bay. Spent 11 years with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Charles Hampton is the new head of communications of XFL Houston. He was with Grand Canyon University for the past 4 years as director of strategic communications. Before that, spent 8 years with the Houston Texans. Gina Antonello is the new head of communications for XFL New York. She was senior communications manager at BSE Global. Before that, Antonello spent time as director of public relations and community relations for the Golden State Warriors. And finally, Jim Barral is the new senior director of partnerships for XFL LA, worked for the Los Angeles Chargers for the past 2 seasons. All right, we'll be back with your social media stuff and comments right after this. Stay tuned. Listen up, XFL News Hub fans. We got something for you. We have an Android app for your phone. That's right. We're excited to announce the launch of this app, and best of all, it is free. So you get all the breaking XFL news and information from XFL News Hub right on your phone. All you have to do is visit the Google Play Store, type in XFL or near the top, or just search for XFL News Hub. That's right. In the Google Play Store, that's all that you need to do. So what do you get with this app? You get the latest news from XFL News Hub, the premier XFL news source in the world, in the universe. You get push notifications when we post a new story. That's optional. You turn that on and off so you get notifications when breaking news happens. You can leave a comment right from your phone. You don't have to be on the website. You just leave it right on your phone. You can get, of course, this podcast on your phone as easy, and you can leave us a review on the Google Play Store. You can do that too. Plus links to all of our social media accounts. So it's very simple. Just head over to the Google Play Store, type in XFL News Hub, and download your XFL News Hub app for the Android phone today. All right, we are back. And remember our question of next week, and for XFL cities, best places to tailgate. We want to know what's up around those big stadiums, where's the best places to tailgate? It might just be at the stadium, but for example, in Audi Field, there's nowhere to park. So there's no like tailgating, bring up your car, bring out some food. It's everybody takes the metro into the game. So that was my one like knock. I was like, well, that kind of stinks. There's no tailgating, or how they're going to do tailgating. We don't know, but we're interested in getting your thoughts on that. On to the Twitter, where the XFL Army lives. 2020 Hindsight 3 says, talking to us about true followers of the league. We were talking about the fan frustration about the lack of team names. He said, true followers of the league waited 11 months for the team cities to be announced. Everything the league has done has taken time. True, everybody's saying patient. Steve, a bunch of numbers, I believe, because they're doing things right, not rushing, taking every step carefully and thought out. I personally appreciate it. Guess most don't. John Maxmenia says, hurry the bleep up. Name the clubs so fans can get behind them. Naming them a week before the season starts is where it appears to be going. That would be bad. That would be bad. I mean, I'm giving them time, trying to be patient. I mean, we don't need them right now. We don't need them now. But we need them soon. Be nice. Want to get my gear, yo. Torrey Butler Rang 1 says right now they appear to be fully concentrating on rules, and players and important XFL guys are all at the spring league until the 30th, so I don't expect this right away. My own guess is that this will be late August or September. C. Jersey Dave says once they release the names, people will be moaning and groaning about how it should have been the Houston so-and-so or the New York whatevers rather than the names chosen. XFL STL Fan Pod said it's got to be a tough job picking these names because there's no way to make everyone happy. Before they even release the St. Louis name, I've decided I already think it's awesome. Right, there you go. An easy guy to please. Right there. Thanks for the messages on the Twitter. Yeah, I mean, everybody, it's just the fans are excited and ready to kind of be all in. And we're all just kind of, we want to rep our teams. We already rep our cities, but there's no, like, we can't buy any. I mean, you could buy an XFL hat like I wear all the time. There's XFL Washington jerseys, but we're ready for the team names. I just hope we don't get them like before the XFL draft. I mean, there's really nothing going on. We got the summer league, which I'm sure, that's a lot of testing and things going, but we can walk and chew gum at the same time, folks. And a lot of coaches are there, so maybe that's why. But we still got a week maybe left. We'll see about that. On to the YouTubes. Talking about predicting the NFL team names, TMC Football 96 says, I wonder if the Orlando, San Antonio, and San Diego's get an XFL team in the future. Not sure about that. True Americans got some names for us. Okay, we'll take them. Dallas Wranglers, Houston Roughnecks, Los Angeles Extreme, Seattle Shockwaves, New York Empire, which I think is cool, St. Louis Spirits, DC Senators, I'm not bad with that, Tampa Bay Tiger Sharks. I kind of like some of these. I mean, they already have the LA Extreme. It's fine to use it again. Roughnecks, Wranglers, Extreme, Shockwaves, New York Empire. That's kind of cool. St. Louis Spirits, like that. DC Senators, I'm for that. Tampa Bay Tiger Sharks. Not bad. True American also says he's got some potential expansion cities. Okay. San Antonio, Texas, Oakland, California, Oklahoma City, San Diego, Austin, Texas. Honestly, I don't think these NFL cities that the NFL has team in will last. Honestly, I don't think these NFL cities that the XFL has teams in will last. Oh, I think it totally will last. And they totally did that on purpose. About Trevor Siemian, he said, Leon M. says, Trevor Siemian has a $1 million guarantee and is the only backup behind Darnold with starting experience. I doubt the Jets cut him. Well, that's an interesting point. Siemian has got a $1 million guarantee. I don't know. They still might let him loose. As Heel says, this could really be cool news because he is quarterback that XFL would, without a doubt, would sign. I know that some of us would not agree with his, but still, why not? Really understand some doubters, but XFL, at least for now, will pay low salary and nothing big, but when the future becomes bigger something, then QBs will get paid more than $1 million and even more that, but this is a new starting league. Yeah, one thing we got to keep in mind, if this league takes off and is a $1 billion league or even $500 million or $750 million league, players are going to see a nice bump in pay, and that's really going to make things interesting. Rick says, Mark Sanchez to LA? No, I believe, isn't he got an ESPN deal or something? Donald says, Ken on Trevor, you joining me? He wants Trevor in St. Louis. He said we'll get start and develop into a franchise quarterback in the XFL and show John Elway and the Denver Broncos organization you made a mistake. It didn't have protection around him. Ooh, Trevor Siemian fan. That's from Vicken. And finally, Panther says, I hope Trevor gets a shot at the XFL, just like I hope and pray that my son, Paul, former defensive tackle for the Broncos, gets a shot as well. Okay. Hoping that the kid gets a little shot at the XFL. All right. Worst cities, we got a couple things from the Instagram. Uncle Luke 2019 says, any city in the state of Massachusetts. Okay. Ouch. David Del Conte _3 says, any city in Alaska. Well, yeah, I mean, that would probably be a sports city, but we're talking, they don't have sports in Alaska. They do have sports in Massachusetts, and let's be honest, he must be a Yankees fan or something like that because clearly the Boston Red Sox, the Celtics, they're all good unless he doesn't realize that Boston's in Massachusetts and thinks Boston's a state, maybe? I don't know. About the fan frustration of the lack of team names articles, I got a lot of buzz last week. Derek says, LOL, this bleep is doomed once again. Relax. No, I don't think so. James says, for me personally, I don't follow football at all. Okay? I'm more interested in the back end of the new sports league launching on such a big scale, and teams and branding are a major interesting part of that. True. About the Alpha Entertainment trademark and other things that we've talked about last week, Zach's talking about sports cities. As far as worst sports city, I don't really think there is one. It's all about how fans from other cities treat the fans of their opponents as far as that goes. Boston and Oakland are the worst at it, in my opinion. Not at all saying the XFL should stay away from them, though. My personal opinion, and I'm waiting for somebody else to will give it. I'll give my opinion at the end, my 2 cents. William on to Trent Richardson, Matt Elam, and others getting interest. He says, still got my Trent jersey. Heard he playing, wish him luck. So maybe some Trent Richardson jerseys will get broken out from back in the day. About Ryan Mallett being some videos that the XFL put out there. Corey said, I'll take Connor Cook in St. Louis so Mallett can play anywhere else. So he's more of a Connor Cook fan than Ryan Mallett. Interesting there. All right, XFL. We're talking Pat McAfee. Bennis says, I hope not. We don't need him in the XFL. I don't even watch him, but we don't need him in this type of sports league. Why? I just don't trust the person himself. Why? Because I saw him in WWE, and by that point, I do realize why he ain't too serious and XFL don't fit him. Yeah, maybe ESPN, but not XFL. XFL is a sports league that deserves seriousness and more like unique commentary that would bring us the background of the game, the players, and the rules and all of that. Ben says, man, I hope he rules. Randall says, Pat is great. John Turner checks in. Yeah. Liking him. I mean, the one thing, and I will give you this, Bennis, is that the problem, I mean, the XFL is trying to distance itself from the past and having kind of an overtop guy, maybe the XFL is looking for more straight edge kind of announcers, and really nobody, your Tony Romo types. And, McAfee's got a bit of a personality to him. But who knows? I could see both sides of the spectrum. And finally, about worst sports cities, Dan says L.A. and Tampa. Yikes. At least he didn't say D.C. Corey, Los Angeles, because there's so fair weather. I'm still a bit salty. They stole my NFL team from St. Louis. So maybe Dan is a St. Louis guy. And Corey, definitely a St. Louis guy. And I kind of agree. Like, Los Angeles, it's not a great sports town. I mean, they didn't have an NFL. Now they have two. And I think it deals with other things like advertisers and whatever. But I don't really think it was L.A., Lakers, and the Dodgers do well. So I don't know about L.A. Paul, who finally gets it right, is the only smart one out of all you jabronis that posted anything. Paul, Atlanta, Georgia. Ding, 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 ding. Number one. And Oakland, which I think Oakland's fine. LA, the Raiders and the A's. And I mean, isn't Oakland considered Golden State as well? But he says Atlanta lost 2 NHL teams and Oakland is losing the same NFL team twice. True. Atlanta is the worst sports town in the country. Hands down. Paul gets it right. Why? Because the Braves don't even sell. Hockey team doesn't work. The NFL teams, they don't come out for that. They don't care about nothing. The Atlanta Hawks, Dominique Wilkins, going back in the day, no one cares in Atlanta about sports, which is really weird. More maybe college football more than anything. But no interest, no love from Atlanta. So he got it right. He wins the prize. And the prize is me telling him that he's smarter than all the other listeners that answered that question. That's your prize. I hope you feel good about yourself because you're a smart man. All right, so that's it for the show this week. If you want to be part of the show, email podcast@xflnewshub.com. Remember, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Just look up XFL News Hub. Plus, we've got our Android app on Google Play and our iPhone app on iTunes. Check out those, download them. You get alerts when anything interesting happens. Remember to leave us a review on Google, Apple Play, Apple Podcasts. Leave us a review. That really helps out the show. We'll read it on the show. And, of course, you can listen to us everywhere on Apple Podcasts. I'm changing it. Apple Podcast. Changing in my notes. Spotify, Google, YouTube, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and Stitcher, folks. Still waiting on the names. Waiting on some big news. We're going to recap the Summer League next week. We'll definitely have some of that stuff. Stay tuned for XFL News Hub for that. I'm just waiting for the team names and possibly player signings coming up soon. We hope to have you all part of this journey as we head into February 2020. Thanks for listening. Mahalo to all my peeps in Hawaii, where I want to move right now, but I can't. God bless y'all, and I mean that from the heart, and I will see you all later.